Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast series. I'm Luke, your host, and today we have a very special guest joining us, Michael. Say hi, Michael.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael. Glad to be here.
Today we're diving deep into a topic that's essential for success in every aspect of life: communication skills. So, Michael, let's kick things off by talking about why communication skills are so important.
Absolutely, Luke. Communication skills are like the engine that drives every interaction we have, whether it's at work, in our relationships, or even just chatting with friends. Good communication can help us express ourselves clearly, understand others better, and avoid misunderstandings.
That's so true. And I think one key aspect of communication is active listening. It's not just about speaking, but also about really hearing what the other person is saying.
Exactly. Active listening means giving your full attention to the speaker without interrupting or thinking about what you're going to say next. It's about being present in the moment and showing that you value what the other person has to say.
And another important aspect of communication is nonverbal cues. Things like body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice can convey a lot of information.
Absolutely. In fact, studies have shown that a large percentage of communication is actually nonverbal. So it's important to pay attention to these cues and make sure they're in line with what we're saying verbally.
So true. And of course, effective communication also involves being able to express ourselves clearly and confidently.
Yes, confidence is key. When we're confident in our ability to communicate, it shows, and others are more likely to listen to what we have to say.
Definitely. And I think one way to improve our communication skills is by practicing empathy. Putting ourselves in the shoes of others and trying to understand their perspective can go a long way in fostering better communication.
Absolutely. Empathy allows us to connect with others on a deeper level and build stronger relationships. It's about being open-minded and respectful of different viewpoints.
Well said, Michael. And before we wrap up this part of our podcast, do you have any final thoughts on communication skills that you'd like to share?
I would just say that communication is a skill that can always be improved upon. It's something we can work on every day in every interaction we have. So let's all strive to be better communicators and watch how it positively impacts every aspect of our lives.
Wise words indeed. Thank you so much. Now we are moving to the second part of our podcast. In this part, we're shifting gears to discuss a topic that many of us can relate to: relationship difficulties. So, Michael, let's start by acknowledging that every relationship has its ups and downs. What are some common difficulties that people face in their relationships?
Well, Luke, one common difficulty is communication breakdowns. We talked about the importance of communication skills in the first part of our podcast, and it's especially crucial in relationships. When communication breaks down, misunderstandings can arise, leading to conflict and tension.
Absolutely. And another challenge that many couples face is the issue of trust. Trust forms the foundation of any healthy relationship, and when it's broken, it can be very difficult to rebuild.
Yes, trust is like a fragile glass. Once it's shattered, it's hard to piece it back together. Building and maintaining trust requires honesty, transparency, and consistency.
And what about conflicts and disagreements? How can couples navigate these in a healthy way?
Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but it's how we handle it that matters. It's important to approach conflicts with empathy and respect, to listen to each other's perspectives, and to work together to find a resolution that satisfies both parties.
That's great advice, Michael. And I think another common difficulty in relationships is the challenge of balancing individual needs with the needs of the relationship.
Absolutely. It's important for both partners to maintain their independence and pursue their own interests, but also to prioritize the health and happiness of the relationship as a whole.
And what about external factors that can impact relationships like stress, financial issues, or family pressures?
These external factors can definitely take a toll on relationships. It's important for couples to support each other through difficult times, to communicate openly about their feelings and concerns, and to work together as a team to overcome challenges.
Wise words, Michael. Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners who may be experiencing difficulties in their relationships?
I would just say that every relationship is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution to relationship difficulties. But what's important is to prioritize open communication, mutual respect, and a willingness to work through challenges together. With patience, understanding, and commitment, it's possible to overcome even the toughest of obstacles.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing your insights and wisdom with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Luke. It's been a pleasure.